everybody, and welcome to the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports. I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you on this Friday morning, and it's July. We're past the holiday, but man, we are ready for a lot of sports talk, and that's what we've got here for you today. Jeremy Schroeder, my partner of these 7 years almost, I think. Anyways, he's here with me as well, and Chipper, as usual, wearing his Championship Thunder OKC hat. And, Jeremy, it's funny. We'll get into basketball a lot in this episode, but right now, I mean, between my anticipation of what the Spurs might have on tap and then also watching, the high drama of LeBron James Jr. and Cooper Flagg go at each other in Summer League, I can't take my eyes off the set.
Oh, I bet. I can't get enough Summer League. Just give me all that Summer League.
All
the brawny.
Hey, good news on your job front. I heard that a lot less stinky feet in your future. That's what I heard on the news earlier.
That's in my present, sir.
Oh, okay. So
that started
going
Monday.
on right now. So
yeah,
don't be taking your shoes off in front of Jeremy Schroeder anymore, people. So the ruler of the airwaves has spoken, and I'm sure he had a big job in that. We got a lot to get to today. We're broadcasting live here with you on our Facebook page, Law Dog Sports. Also, don't get confused. We revamped a page, and depending on things to come in the future, there is a second Facebook page. Don't get it confused with where we go live here. There is one called Law Dog on the Radio. That is subject to change, so I apologize for that, but I kind of revamped an old radio page that I had back in the day. Jeremy, we've got the All-Star break coming up next week. We've got the Major League Baseball draft coming up. I had hoped to get Newt Huntley on as well today and talk about some Oklahomans in the draft, and we'll try to play off of his content. And I've got a handle on a little bit of stuff regarding Western Oklahoma where I'm at, but really the All-Star break means that the trade deadline is just around the corner, man. If your Cubs want to trade John Crow or
Pete Crow Armstrong, sir,
Pete Crow Armstrong
PCA
to Arlington, I think I would sign off on that. Just saying.
I think I would drive to Chicago and burn the stadium down if they traded PCA.
Did you happen to see the clip of I was thinking of you last night when I heard it, the Seinfeld episode, great game, pretty boy. So anyways, last night in the booth, a foul ball got hit, and Keith Hernandez is doing voiceover or, color commentary. And he's deep in thought, deep in documentation, and his partners let this happen to him.
Cedric Mullins fouls one back this way. That went right past Keith's ear, and he never saw it. I was looking.
Well, it's a lot funnier with the actual video because you see the baseball go fly by. If we talk baseball and we talk Texas Rangers, there's only one guy that I go to, and I think it's because he's the only guy that will talk to me, but still he is one of the best. That's John Moore from the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast, and he's got a lot more on the burner that we'll talk about in a little bit. But John Moore joins us here on the show, and John, we had a lot of people we've got several Rangers fans that had questions of me, and I didn't feel qualified to answer them. I said, fellas, just be patient. John's got a lot of things going on, but we will get him on. Also, we want to thank Dan Narva, our super fan from Michigan, for checking in. And he's a Tigers fan, so he's all geared. He's been done by May usually in past seasons. This year he's down for it. Also, Todd Bruner checks in and says, let's talk about Wimbledon for an hour.
Hey, Todd, let's not.
So John Moore here with us. John, I tell you, the Rangers are just kind of a mystery wrapped in an enigma or something to get that offense capped up. Probably one of the, I would have to think, top 5 pitching
number one right now.
Well, and in Rangers lore, it would have to be one of the top 5, midway of the season pitching performances. They're 46 and 48. They are just 3rd in the AL West and then 3.5 back in the wild card. But they need offense. So what, just straight out blunt question, what do you see them doing? Are they buying or selling at the trade deadline?
Boy, if I could figure that out, I'd tell you right now. Listen, the offense is starting to come together. I mean, look what they're doing. This, they've got a run differential of like plus 36 or something like that. But it's all coming together at a bad time. These arms are wore out. The bullpen is wore out. If this pitching staff can just come somewhat close to what they've done this first half and stay basically there, and this offense kicks in like we hope they do, and like they're doing now, this may be something to watch. I mean, this is a team that won 2023 in the first half of the season, and then basically did what they did the first half of this season in the second half and just clung on to that wild card spot and then went on the run that they went on during the playoffs. Maybe this is the team that gets hot at the right time. They're not going to sell in the fact that they're not going to sell off. That's what I'll tell you. So they're not going to sell off. They may sell a couple of players that their contracts are about to be up. Patrick Corbin, this is a guy that what a find he was, but I don't think they will. I mean, they would have to totally collapse here in the next couple of weeks and just fall too far out. A lot of speculation around Adolis Garcia, who I don't think is back next year. I don't think they pick up that arbitration because he's making like 9 or 10 this year, and it'll go up to 15 or 14 next year. I don't see them picking up that one next year. But so there's some speculation about that. But right now he's on a 6-game hitting streak. He's doing what Adolis normally does. It's just been a while to get this thing going. Injuries have hurt, but you can't use that as an excuse. This team's just underperformed. And so I don't think they're going to sell off because I don't think they think they're out of it. And I think all they think they got to do is get in that wild card spot. And then, it's a crapshoot from there. All you got to do is get hot.
It seemed like through a portion, or maybe the first part of the season, Marcus Semien wasn't performing as well. Seemed like Rangers Nation was a little bit disgruntled with him, but he's pretty well turned it around since late May, right?
He's a cleanup hitter now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably in a spot he should have been. I know he was a good leadoff hitter. This is a guy he's an RBI guy. What he does more than anything that I've always liked about Marcus Semien, even when he's scuttling, is that when you got people on base, he has good at bats and moves runners and does what's supposed to happen when that happens. But in the leadoff spot, you usually don't have people in front of you, especially starting the game off. So, I mean, this is more of what Marcus Semien's been. He's been a 3, 4, 5-hole hitter his whole career before he got to the Rangers. I mean, he has some leadoff. He's done some leadoff. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But I think he's protecting Corey Seager where he's at right now. I mean, look, he's been one of the better hitters there's been, and it's not just been for a couple weeks or a week like Adolis. I mean, this has been well over a month that he has been outstanding. And one of the best hitters on the team and one of the guys putting together good at bats. And so, what could they do at the deadline? They could, if there's a closer they can get, it's got to be controllable. They're not going to rent anybody. They're going to get somebody that would be here for the next couple of years because they think the core and the nucleus of this team is ready to go. And then maybe a DH type person, but look, Jock Peterson was starting to figure things out right before he got hurt. Do you just wait for him to get healthy and come back? He had a pretty good spring, so maybe you coming back in and he has his spring training at bats in the regular season and he starts to get hot again. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting, but it really depends on what happens in the next couple of weeks.
This could be the year that the Angels finally let go of Mike Trout.
There you go.
Mike Trout. I want to see him play. I never seen him. He plays on the West Coast. It's always too late for me. I'm too tired.
What Pee Wee Herman used to have the magic word that today's magic word was Mike Trout. And I was going to ask you that, Mike, because I mean, there's speculation when I did a little bit of research on Rangers trade targets, he came up, and Jeremy brings up a great point. is he at the point to where he might ask the Angels guys,
he desperately needs a change.
Is that a contract that the Rangers would even want to deal with?
I mean, God, he kills the Rangers. So, I mean, what would happen if he's actually playing for the team where he gets most of his stats? I mean, he's a good player. He's in declining years of his career. Obviously, I think he would be valuable somewhere. Maybe the Angels would eat a portion of that contract, but I don't think Mike Trout comes here, because I tell you what, people think that the Rangers don't spend money. They do.
Yeah,
they do spend money, and I think this offseason is when you're going to see stuff. I mean, look, if they're right on the verge, they've got some money coming off the books. I mean, they have to address the right field situation. I know it's a long shot in doing that, but Kyle Tucker is going to be a free agent. So
how dare you?
Yeah,
Kyle Tucker is a Chicago Cub. That's where he's going to stay.
Might as well just ask for Pete Crow Armstrong. Question from one of our viewers, Dan Narva. John, checking on Josh Young and saw that he recently got sent to Round Rock. Who's on third now? Younger brother Jace is trying to figure it out in Toledo.
Yeah, Josh Smith is playing third, which that's just – look, Josh Smith is – if he had a certain position he played all the time, would be on the all-star team, because that's how good of a player he's been. But, I've said it, and I was just ripped apart for it a couple of years ago. I said Josh Young's a better third baseman Josh Smith's a better defensive third baseman than Josh Young, and shortstop than Corey Seager. He's just not an everyday player over there. And boy, you thought I would have said Josh Young was a bust, or whoever was a bust, or what, how this Ranger fandom can get. Now look at him. Now he's the starting third baseman. And look, Josh Young, the plan is for this team plays well when Josh Young plays well. And he's just been playing. He took his 72 hours to get there. People think he probably sulked over it. I think he actually went and got with some hitting coaches. And, I mean, this is a guy that's a baseball rat. If you ever see Josh Young, he's like a gym rat. I mean, you go in the clubhouse, he's there early, he's out hitting, he does defense, he's got baseball cards all over the place. I mean, he's just a nerd baseball player. And so, look, he more than anybody wants to get back on right track, and I think he will. I think this is good for him. It was good for Berger, Well, Berger went down and figured it out.
And when you're a team with options at that spot, then you have that luxury. It's the problems of the wealthy, so to speak. But anyway,
and you hate to see them wait. I mean, they've given up the fewest runs in Major League Baseball.
Yeah,
by far, which is crazy. And they've only scored 377, which is also near the bottom. Yeah. You hate to waste that staff. They've been so good all year.
Yeah.
Well, and then also Eovaldi has bounced back, and I think Jared Sandler's been on social media, basically calling out the All-Star selection process that he's been kind of overlooked.
Yeah, and I'm it's obviously, I think something has to do with the fact that he missed a week there, 10, 12 days. I don't know what they're looking at. His stats match up with just about everybody. Is his ERA below 2 now? I mean, it's close. I can't remember. He might be 2.13 or whatever. Jacob deGrom, obviously deserving of an all-star. He might get a start. I'm wondering if deGrom plays or even pitches if he's not the starter, which I don't know that he will be.
Eovaldi's 182, 162.
I've got 162 here on the
162.
Yeah, I think I thought he had gotten below 2, and I'm roaming all around doing different things right now. But I know that, and Jacob deGrom's at a 2.2 or something like that. He's been amazing. Jacob deGrom's fun to talk to. This guy's like a freaking nerd baseball pitcher. I mean, he goes up and throws 7 scoreless or does whatever. And he's like, yeah, I was coming off that left side and I was opening up on my slider, and and you're like going, are you kidding me? No one had a chance. And he was like, is the way you're looking at him, and he's like, I was a little off, and he goes, I had stress on the bases when I was. It's wild.
Mike Trout is projected as a potential target. It's been talked about. I don't think Chris Young has talked about it, but people that, get paid to make trade speculations. But some other names that have popped up to maybe give the offensive boost: Marcell Ozuna, JD Martinez, maybe Josh Naylor. Do you see one of those targets? I mean, I think JD Martinez is a free agent right now.
My partner Jeff Wilson doesn't think that's a reality. He doesn't see it. He's like, I don't know where. I mean, Naylor and sure Ozuna. Ozuna is the one I would look at. But I mean, when is he a free agent? That's the situation. I think Ozuna's bat would play. The deal is the truth is, if these guys get going, they have the bats. They just got to get going. And yeah, you can spark it and try to get someone in here to do that. But finding places for everyone to play right now is going to be a problem, especially when Peterson gets back. But I mean, they could use a corner bat or a DH bat for sure. I think they would have to move somebody, and unfortunately, that could spell the end for Duran or.
And there's a question that just popped to mind. Are in this trade market, do they want a half-season rental player like you mentioned? I mean, it probably looking at, if you make a move, somebody that wants to come and stay, right?
Depends on what you got to give up to do that.
Yeah.
So if it's one of your top 30 prospects, no. I mean, unless it's somebody that's controllable for longer than half the season. And their prospect rankings are a little bit down. They've only got one in the top 100. So I mean, nobody's gonna pry away Walcott. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But they do have some intriguing young pitching that's looking okay. Cole Drake's a name that's coming up. David Davalillo, who's been fantastic, and he just got to Double-A and is doing pretty well there. Mitch Bratt, who's made a big comeback, the left-handed Canadian kid, who's come back and is pitching really well at Double-A. So there's some guys that could be some arms later. But they would be obvious targets for people that are looking to move somebody. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what are you going to have to give up to get a rental? What are you going to, you're going to have to give up something strong to get somebody that's under control. I mean, it's probably more of a bullpen arm that they go after, in my opinion, but I don't know. I mean, the offense, they've got to spark it somehow. I don't know.
We're visiting with John Moore from the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. He's always been a contributor here on our program since we came into contact with him, I believe, maybe before COVID.
It was before COVID.
Okay. Yeah. 2019. Great. And so, John, the draft is this weekend. The Rangers hold picks 12, 52, and 84, probably any real consequence. What I've read says they'll be looking at infield depth, and our Arkansas superfan Connor Carr will probably he'd probably rather see Eloy go to St. Louis, but he'd probably be happy that one of his hogs went to the major leagues and the Rangers. What do you foresee Chris Young looking at in this draft?
See, the Rangers play everything so close to the vest. I've looked at every mock draft the last couple of days. It seems to be a lot of high school shortstops that if they fall to the Rangers, they're going to go with a high school shortstop. Reason they usually go for someone like that is that plays in a lot of places. That could be a second baseman, a center fielder, something to that effect, depending on where they are. And there's a few good names out there. They've been linked to a kid out of San Antonio, Kason Cunningham, I believe is his name. He's the kid that's a UT, commitment. But there's a kid, JoJo Parker, that's out of Mississippi. That's another name that keeps dropping to him. That tends to be it. And then if not that, there's some college pitchers. I think I don't know where they're going. I mean, we usually have on Kip Fagg after the draft, and he talks about what they got and what they did and do all of that, but we won't have, but now he won't open his mouth and let you know what they're looking at. So they have a board, and one thing the Rangers do, they draft best available. It's not need, because in baseball, you draft best available. And if you've got, 6 top 100 shortstops, that are in your organization, well, that's just a luxury, and look, I've said it all along, everybody looks at Sebastian Walcott, who's playing shortstop for Frisco Rough Riders. He's 19 years old, going to be 20 later. He's one of the youngest players. In fact, last year he was the youngest player ever to play in AA for the Rangers. And he is, if you keep hitting and you keep proving yourself, they'll find a place to play you. So you watch him. If he starts playing outfield, if he starts playing, third base, which he's done some, and maybe you see him slide around and playing places, that means they're looking at a place for him to play so they can get his bat in the lineup.
Well, and it will be interesting to see, which direction to go. I know there's a shortstop out of a small town just south of me, Fort Cobb, young man named Eli Willits, who plays.
Yeah, that's another name I've seen.
Yeah, and he was an OU commit, by the way. So anyways, but the Red River banter and rivalry sparks up in baseball draft talk.
And Oklahoma State's losing their best commit because Ethan Holiday's not going to go there.
Yeah. So even with NIL, the money to go play professional baseball is just going to be too much to turn down. Dan Narva had a response earlier. Appreciate the answer, John. I'm a big believer that the young bros in the young brothers, but Tiger fans equally dragging Jace through the dirt and thinking he should be trade chip to enhance the team for a playoff run. That's the thing. When you're in the heat of it, man, the pressure builds up and performances are evaluated. It's it can get crazy in July.
Well, the Tigers are good. So they're looking to improve. So, they'll be in on everyone. And if Jace Young is in AAA, look, he's going to be a big leaguer for sure. He's expendable, especially on the run they're having right now. They're a good team. So
they play in just a terrible division, which is great for them.
The Central, AL Central.
Any major league, any major league game Central division is terrible.
15-game lead, July 11th.
Dan also had a follow-up. So Josh Smith came in the Joey Gallo trade. Tigers drafted him in 16 out of high school. But he went to one of Chuck's favorite schools where the Yankees later drafted him in 2019. Was Josh Smith a LSU Tiger?
He was.
Okay.
Kennedy Landry, who covers the Rangers for MLB, was at LSU getting her degree when Josh was there. So they knew each other. And so they're big LSU fans, and there's a few different schools that are in that between the media and everybody that's in that clubhouse. So when football starts and the SEC starts, there's a lot of fun in there giving each other a bunch of crap. But LSU, Josh Smith was good at LSU, and he's been the headline of that trade. But Ezekiel Duran was another one in that trade.
Yeah. Joey Gallo, man, remember the days.
We didn't know what we had.
Didn't know what we had, what they took from us. John, you've also got another project going on. Tell us about the Texas College Football Show.
Yeah, so I kind of my passions. I've got a couple of passions. I like high school football. I love college football. Is a big passion of mine, along with baseball.
Yeah.
And so I grew up playing football and baseball my whole life and just love covering them in the Rangers. I've been blessed to be credentialed and do all of that. And last year, for fun, I started messing around with just the Texas college football, the Division I FBS schools that are eligible. There are 13 schools in the state of Texas that are essentially eligible to play for a national championship at the top level. And they go from, schools like A&M and UT all the way down to UTEP and Rice and Sam Houston and all of that. And so I started just kind of ranking them every week and having fun on my own. There was nothing to it. Well, I've teamed up with Fanatics View. If you go to YouTube, it's Fanatics View and look up Fanatics View. It's a huge YouTube channel. They do a lot of podcasts. Jesse Holloway from Cowboys is on there. They do some they cover all the sports. They're at every event. They have credentials everywhere. Me and the owner of that have been friends in the media through the Rangers, and he kind of approached me and I kind of approached him, and we talked about it, and he thought about doing it. So we teamed up. We're going to do it this fall. And we've got the coaching. I'm ranking the coaches. That should be out anytime. And then I've got the quarterbacks I'll rank. And then every week we'll just break down and count down the 13 schools. We'll recap what happened the week before, where they sit, all the way through the end of the year. And then we'll do some off-season stuff for fun.
Well, and we will share links to your content as well, as you've been a friend of the program for a long time and always given us great talk about and analysis of the Rangers. So I just, one piece of advice to you, and we learned this back when we were on in Seymour, Texas, is, you got to take off that burnt orange cap when you do the show. If you're wanting to attract listeners from College Station or Lubbock, you throw down pretty hard for the horns on Twitter, Bub. And
yes, I do. Listen, I do, and I respect A&M, and but they're easy to trigger, so they're easy fodder for me. So I have no problem doing that. And look, it's good with all of them too. I love giving everyone crap and having fun at it. That's what sports is about. If you're going to disagree on sports. You're allowed to hate in sports. It's called sports hate. You never root for injuries, but you're allowed to hate the other guy that's killing you.
Sure.
So, but and I love it. I love it through every sport you do. And so, there might be some weeks that I'm burnt orange from head to toe just to rub it in. I hope that's the way I get to do it, but I don't know. I do want all of them to listen, and I'm going to be fair to everybody where it's warranted and do all of that. And look. I was not a fan of Steve Sarkisian when he was hired. So, the things, perception.
It's funny that first season, how much belly aching came out of ATEX with regards to, what did we trade, Tom for? And how things turned. But, that's the thing is Sarkisian, maybe he knew that the NIL was going to come into play, and maybe he realized, Barry Switzer himself has always said that the University of Texas head coaching position is the best job in the industry. Now you got
resources. Chris Del Cane, the AD there, I think it was a brilliant hire. None of us saw it because you kept hearing these big names when Tom Herman obviously needed to go, but none of us saw it. But he knew, hey, we're heading into the SEC. We need a coach that's got SEC experience and recruiting. And, I saw some signs when Sarkisian got here. They ended up going 5-7 that first year. I saw some signs in the fact that they would jump. Remember that Texas OU game? They ended up getting beat that first year, but they jumped out 21-0, had a big lead at halftime. Texas back then, though, just couldn't finish games. There were a lot of games.
And Jeremy, you can agree with me on this or not. Probably the biggest turnaround for that program is that they started recruiting some secondary that could tackle.
Yep.
Because if you go back
and offensive linemen
and some offensive linemen and
they got the prima donnas out of there. They basically said, look, you can strut around. This is the best, the best school to go to, whatever. But that doesn't mean you win just because you're at that school. You got to go out and do it. It's why
seems like the level of scouting they're doing as far as finding guys that fit what their program wants to do with offensive and defensively has been a lot better than we're just going to recruit stars.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is where you're going to have to go in this era.
Yeah, it's why I think Oklahoma will be back. Oklahoma doesn't settle for finishing the way they do. They'll figure out the way to do it. And if it's maybe this isn't the head coach for it. I don't know. But they won't settle, right? So they'll go get who they want. Mateer's going to be good, I think. So.
Yeah. Exit question on football, and we'll let you get out of here because I know you said you've got to take.
Yeah, I got a show coming up here in 30 minutes.
Big 12 Media Days. I got to say, I listened to some of Sonny Dykes. I listened to some of Dave Aranda. Obviously Texas Tech is strutting around in their new Corvette. But K-State's picked to win the league. Utah's picked to bounce back. This new Big 12, it seems like the Baylors and TCU's, if they're not careful, they've got to put up this year, or they could kind of be left out and left behind.
I did on my coach's show, which is about to come out in ranking. I said the hottest seat probably of the 13 schools is probably Dave Aranda. He went 12-2 that second year. He took them to the Sugar Bowl, and they won it. They won the Big 12, and then they have not gone back. But now they've got this Sawyer kid that's coming in, the quarterback. They're supposed to be better this year. My me personally in the Big 12, I'm watching Texas Tech. I mean, I can't stand it. I mean, Texas Tech drives me nuts sometimes, but they're going to be good. And Joey does a great job.
Yeah.
And I know Joey, and when you're in a room with Joey McGuire, you feel like he thinks you're important. And he's good at that.
Yep. Well, it's going to be interesting, and we are all ready. I think we're 50 days away from kickoff and lucky 5-0. So we are ready, and we will check back in with you on a couple of occasions, John, because I know you're a busy guy, but we'd love to, maybe something after the trade deadline. And then also once we get into college football, because we still talk Big 12 and you're a Texas guy, but I mean, we used to be Texas guys in ways. So we will definitely reach out to you again. And man, hopefully things take off on your new project, and hopefully you're following a playoff run for the Rangers.
I hope so. I would love to see
get Mike Trout. Mike Trout.
He's John Moore from DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast. You can find him on Twitter at the Recliner Nerd, and we share his content as well. And we love having John Moore on here with us. John, thanks again, and have a great rest of your summer.
Thanks, bud. See you guys later. Right. Yeah, just let me know. Be happy to join you. See you guys.
Will do. John Moore, and just a great friend of the program. And Jeremy, we can transition here a couple of different directions. We can get into more of the Big 12 Media Days. I've got some audio that we can talk about, or I know you're just chomping at the bits to talk Thunder contract extensions. Oh,
yeah.
Let's do football real quick. And
okay.
I'll kind of let
my sports biological clock is all screwed up right now. I desperately need NFL preseason to start so I could just watch some football and get into it.
Yeah. Dan Narva asking, can Scott Frost turn UCF around and bring back the glory days? We'll get to that in just a second. Dan also said thanks to John. Steve Anderson wasn't here with us that I saw, and he's the main Rangers guy that was wanting to ask questions. So my bad on that, but the Rangers do have a 3-game series before the break in Houston. Jack Leiter and takes on Lance McCullers tonight. McCullers has been rocked here as of late. But anyways, and then for the Rangers' sake, they do have DeGrom going tomorrow night, and then Eovaldi going on Sunday. So really, that gives you a fighting chance. Houston bats, they're about middle of the pack in a way offensively, but it seems like their bats have woken up a bit as of late too. Big 12 Media Days was at the Ford Center in Frisco, Texas, earlier in the week. Jeremy, I think the primary talk, and this is what's become of college football, is NIL and revenue sharing and all of this mess. Remember the days back when they used to get on there and talk about their players and what they were expecting, and media days have taken a whole different financial turn.
The game has changed so drastically in the last 4 or 5 years. It's almost unrecognizable. It's like you need to take an accountant with you when you do any kind of media. It's insanity, and you're old like me. I prefer the days when, we know the players are getting McDonald's bags stuffed with cash. Yeah, I know it's happening. Don't care.
What's funny happen is there seemed to be a different set of honor code with that.
Sure.
And maybe it's because the franchise that we follow and support was maybe at the forefront of a lot of that.
Oh yes,
but still, I mean, and what's funny and getting into all this is ESPN had their coverage of the Big 12 Media Days, and they had an interesting round table the first day, and I didn't get to catch much of any of day 2. But Matt Berry, the college football final host, he took some shots at McElroy on the dais, or on their little talk dais, kind of like, back when he took some shots at Alabama, and it was funny and funny television. But day one,
Kalen DeBoer has done a hell of a job recruiting this offseason.
Boy, they've got it rolling again from what we're hearing. Let's see. Dan Narva then punish the lackeys like Michigan State with a 3-year TV ban. Thanks, Woody. We've lived that TV ban ourselves. So,
yep.
But yeah, the icons like Woody Hayes and Joe Paterno were always above, reproach.
Oh, of course. How'd that turn out?
Sarcasm alert there.
Yeah.
So anyways, here's my takes from Big 12 Media Days. Obviously, Tech was there day one. Joey McGuire, Cody Campbell, he's head of the Tech Board of Regents now. He was making the rounds at Big 12 Media Days.
Is that right?
He was, and he's obviously funneling a lot of double eagle cash.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, into the program. And, they're pulling a lot of recruits. They pulled a 5-star offensive lineman, Felix Ojo, out of, I forget which Texas school. They're all kind of running the same. But the bleeding from Burn Orange Nation over that signing was just so glorious.
The wailing and gnashing of teeth. It was beautiful.
You can't just pay players to come and think that they're going to...
Really? Really puff fund trust babies?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
sure.
And the funny thing is, and John's right, you have to change the culture. And we had said for years that they've got a systemic culture problem down there. They get talent, but they don't focus.
Right.
Now it seems like they've got kids that focus or, situation where they, whatever. But the thing is I will say this. You get all that talent out to Lubbock. My fear is that, a lot of money being thrown around, small premises. We've seen what can happen in smaller college towns when young men
or even small Mexican border towns.
Ooh. Well, I guess it is a 4-hour trip to El Paso, but
yeah.
But no, I mean, it's just, Joey McGuire is going to have his hands full. And the thing about this influx of money and influx of talent is you've got to convince them, hey, bub, you're getting paid good money. You got to go out and perform.
Yes. Stay away from the supercar dealership.
Yeah, don't be flying around the loop.
Throw some governors on them cars.
Mm-hmm.
Stay out of trouble, keep your nose clean, work hard, and all this can translate to a big NFL contract, which is long-term money instead of this.
Well, and as
relatively small money they're getting
as
out.
Much as I've hacked on Nick Saban over the years and all the money that was going to Alabama players for years, they got on campus and iron sharpened iron. They came out of there. They might have only had 2 or 3 good years left on the tires for the NFL run, but they performed when they were in crimson.
Well, just their running backs. They never really had a quarterback. Tua wasn't that great. Hurts has been good, but I can't think of one Alabama quarterback that's been top 5 in the NFL.
Who was the one with the
AJ McCarron?
AJ McCarron. He was in the news this week blasting someone. So
he's on that podcast with Siski, and I can't think of the other guy's name.
Yeah. So the thing with the NIL and rev sharing and all that and the money influx is that while ESPN did a roundtable with the day one coaches, Joey McGuire was there, was Kalani Sitake at BYU.
Yes.
Which I'm sure they've had their own NIL fund for years. It's just kind of been paid off in crisp white shirts. But anyways,
mountain bicycles and white shirts.
White shirts. But anyways, so here's Joey McGuire on this dais, and Scott Frost is practically talking communism, about salary caps and equal pay, equals
banging his hammer and sickle together.
Yeah, the working man, the working class. And I mentioned this to Ryan Hyatt, our friend from Lubbock, and tried to Dan, AJ McCarron married the Musburger pinup babe.
Maybe Scott Frost needs to get on some of that Disney money.
He's going to do something. That he's going to. Central Florida is not going to sit by, and I think they're a huge student body every year, right?
Aren't they the biggest? They're in Orlando, right?
Yeah, and they're the biggest school in Florida, student body wise.
Need some of that Disney money.
Yeah, so they'll have the influx if they can tap onto a billionaire alumnus, But the thing is I can't imagine that there wasn't a lot of uncomfortability. Is that a discomfort with Texas Tech on the dais and just basically cashing checks and wringing necks, and there you've got Kleiman, who's scraping together what he can in Manhattan, Kansas. I mean, the Big 12, and we'll get into kind of the previews of that, but the Big 12 is if Texas Tech doesn't come out of this next 2 seasons with a distinctive edge in the sport of football, then they will have wasted an opportunity.
No doubt. Yeah, especially in that conference. You don't have a lot of heavy hitter money programs in the Big 12 anymore. I mean, I guess you can Arizona State maybe. Heck, BYU's replacing Retzloff. They don't have a quarterback at this point. Kansas State. Yeah, Kansas State, I think their most wealthy alumnus is the greeter at Walmart in Manhattan. Junction City. No hate to Kansas State. I love my Kansas peeps. But, yeah, it's just not a conference. Dion has less than 10 recruits committed for the 2026 cycle in July. The conference is super wide open. If Tech does not make a run this year, it will be a massive disappointment.
Well, they quit doing a media poll, and that was to harbor the teams from being labeled not worthy of the playoff down the road. But they did do a coaches poll, and the coaches have K-State picked first, Arizona State, then Texas Tech and TCU. And as I mentioned to John Moore, I mean, TCU, they're just 2 years removed from a college football playoff appearance, 3 seasons,
national championship game appearance,
one more playoff win than OU. But they fell, and Sonny's there, and he's probably I hate to say that our rotund buddy uses the truth serum talk all the time, but Sonny might see the money getting thrown around over across town now and think, man, why did I leave the ponies?
Yeah, dang it. Why can't I think of Gary Patterson? Ran out of Gary P's players, and now he's on the struggle bus.
Exactly. And, there are those coaches, and I've said this is Houston nut to a T. They will come in and take the previous guys' players and make them close to world beaters. Give them 3 years when they've got to bring in their own, and there is a drop-off.
Massive.
Yep. Dion was a little bit belligerent with the media, didn't want to talk about his health. I mean, I get that. He doesn't look great. Yeah. I know he's been fighting some things. I want to see what year 3 looks like for Deion Sanders in Boulder, and then
especially with all his kids gone.
All of his Jackson State players gone.
Didn't he sign a pretty highly rated quarterback, high school kid this last cycle?
I think so.
I think it was a high 4 maybe.
But they've lost players to the portal in grand fashion as well. And
they don't recruit.
No. On the whole tip of the NIL, day 2, new old West Virginia coach Rich Rodriguez was on there. We've got audio from him.
Hell, it's a lot easier than working in a coal mines or digging a ditch. You know what I mean? Like you get frustrated because you could do everything right in recruiting and develop a relationship and all that kind of stuff, and the guy just gets bought. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. It's transactional.
Audio courtesy of Zach Brown TV there. Richard Rodriguez makes the move from Jacksonville State, where they had a pretty successful season in the group of 5, I guess, Conference USA last year. Jeremy, it's one of those situations for me where Rich Rod, I mean, I think McAfee's gonna be, trying to boost things for them. I mean, they could end up in a situation where they have a significant NIL, but I mean, the revenue sharing is where it really gets down to it. And, basically I think Mike Gundy's talk the other day was, you're not dealing with kids that, are your players anymore. You're dealing with employees.
Exactly. And, places like Oklahoma State, West Virginia, I mean, the borderline have-nots, it's going to be a struggle. We saw this with Oklahoma State last year. You lose guys to the portal. What are you really bringing in from the portal? Not a whole heck of a lot. Rich Rod's got he's a heck of a coach. He's got a good staff around him. He's in a wide open league. They could make some noise in the Big 12, but I'd be curious to see what their NIL payouts are. Just where that ranks. And I would love to see, conference by conference, what each team, an itemized amount, what these guys are paying. We'll never see it.
No.
But man, would that be crazy to see?
Well, and we knew once the lid came off, the Outlaws tried to do whatever they could.
Mm-hmm.
When Texas was offering $50,000 to offensive linemen just to be there.
Well, I mean,
and you may go do some charitable appearances,
Southern Methodist University boosters, activated like the Winter Soldier as soon as NIL went through.
Like that. But then you've got Matt Campbell at Iowa State talking about, he's got players that are willing to take pay cuts to stay at Ames.
And that's the kind of kids he's going to have to find.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think the NIL payouts are at Kansas State, and they're picked to win the league?
Yeah.
Maybe I how I feel about Chris Kleiman. I think he's just a hell of a coach.
Oh yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's going to wring the most ability and talent out of every player on his roster.
Yeah.
Is that going to be good enough?
Frost and Dion and several others threw out salary cap. Will we see a salary cap?
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. I know we've eschewed this, fantasy of amateurism for, now we want to make them employees. Great, make them employees, but you're capped. This is how much you can make. This is how much you can make that could be cleared through the NIL clearinghouse outside of what you're going to make here, which is that $20.5 million revenue share. The government makes everything worse. I've always said this. It's just you've ran it off the rails so badly that now Congress feels like they need to be involved.
Yeah.
This is how bad it is. Now Congress is getting involved.
Well, and one senator who's going to want to put his 2 cents in.
Tommy Tuberville.
I don't know. Brett Yormark. I think the Big 12 is in pretty decent hands with him. I don't get the feeling of lack of competence from him.
He's taken a lot of risks, and so far those risks have paid off. He's got the corner schools in, and it's not a Pac-12 situation where you're taking Texas State and Boise and,
Well, I tell you something, the conference stuff, let's just blow it all up and make regional conferences,
regional divisions,
something, because we're going to 20-team Premier League and relegation anyway. So, but when you talk about turn
it into college basketball, conferences don't matter.
Sure. Dan Narva, they can pluck some peaches from successful D2 programs too, who will never make the kind of money at that level that they can make in Division I. My favorite, Harris Bulldog running back, committed to play for Rich Rod. So yeah, and that's an opportunity. Shoot, who didn't? Oh, you pulled a tight end from Pittsburgh State, I think.
Yeah, the one that's not from Kennesaw State.
Yeah, Kennesaw State, but what? And I was doing some preview work on Conference USA because I want to focus a lot on UTEP and New Mexico State this season. And speaking of, kind of talking about Conference USA, Western Kentucky now is going to be starting one Maverick MacGyver at quarterback this season. So he followed.
Maverick is back, baby.
He followed his Abilene Christian OC to the Hilltoppers.
Very cool.
So anyways, but it's going to be, Division II, and I'll say this from my experience of following SWASU a bit, Division II has their set targets. it's kids that just aren't being targeted by Division I schools or the right Division I schools, kids that want to stay close to home, whatever the case might be. It's a task. You really have to keep your eye out. But the group of 5 coaches, to me, I mean, they're the ones that are looking at true pressure to field. I mean, you could win 10 games one season, and then you could have everybody swept away and win 3 the next. And your job's on the line for that.
Yeah, you could be Akron.
Yeah,
worst program in Division I football.
I thought it was Kent State.
It's Kent State.
You're okay.
Right. It's one of those Ohio schools.
Yeah.
It's in Ohio, right?
They're all pretty bad. Can you?
Yeah, as long as I get my Maction, I don't care.
Your Maction.
My Tuesday Maction.
Just be playing on Tuesday nights, baby. All right. So, anyways, OSU picked in the middle of the pack. Just a dreadful season last year. This season, they sent down a defensive tackle, Iman Oates, Cam Smith, a defensive back, and Josh Ford, a tight end. But and they pulled in a good recruit recently. The Bixby kid, one of the many Presley siblings. They're coming out of Bixby. They all prove out to be really good players. But no, just the talk of all the Big 12 media days for OSU sake was this.
Yeah, that for sure says I have a full head of hair.
That's not good. Who is that?
And they got me all like muscled up. I'm not that much.
You got the goal these days, have a full head of hair.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm a pro.
Wait till my high school buddies see that.
Yeah.
They'll be lighting me up.
And then he also went on to say this.
Somebody showed me the picture just recently of it. They gave me a great hairdo. Like, I have really good hair, but I mean, that's like permanent hair for like forever, but I'm good with it.
Did you see the picture I shared in our group thread of the character from SNL when Larry David hosted and they did an FBI shooting simulator?
I don't think so.
I'll have to.
You guys are pretty active when I'm at work, so I don't catch every post.
True. Anyway, so Mike Gundy, if you're wondering what we were playing those clips for, EA Sports, is it NCAA Football 2026? Oh, there we go. So Jeremy will be delving into that. Be sure and play a lot of seasons as OU. I think they get money for that, don't they?
I am only going to load that picture of Mike Gundy and stare at it.
Okay. Anyway, so the animations within the game, it's in the game, are pretty entertaining. I would say this probably says a lot about Steve Sarkisian. His came out the most lifelike.
So he's got
Brent
that
Venables,
receding faux hawk thing going.
Yeah, kind of a cone head. And the big dumb eyes. But anyway,
those Nate Bargatze eyes.
Those Nate Bargatze big dumb eyes.
The voice doesn't match the body.
The Mike Gundy animation was just classic because they took his full head of hair, which Gundy, he's got a magnificent coif, but man, they elevated a little bit. He looks like some sort of weird Wolverine character.
I think I said Holgerson with Conway Twitty's hair.
I was thinking it looked like a Tim Robinson character from I think you should leave. Yeah. So anyways, but Gundy took it in good stride. He's a good sport about it. When you have hair, I think you can be a good sport about a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you have that glorious mane that he has.
He can go mullet. He can go over the top. I mean,
he's almost 60 and can still rock a flat top if he wanted to.
Yeah, he can. So I've always
not
been
have to try to hide anything.
That's you. I mean, that's what I bring to the table every Friday with you.
Well,
Big 12 Media Days passed, and one thing I think that came out of is they realized there's a lot of parity in that league. But I think Arizona State kind of served notice last year that the Big 12 champion can go toe-to-toe in a playoff game. Don't sleep on them. And
what's the over-under on games Jalen Daniels plays this year for Kansas?
Man, that's another thing. And that's another program, Jeremy, we talked with John Moore about. The old Big 12 is kind of getting glazed over with all of these newcomers. I think Utah, some people have Utah bouncing back and making a run.
You had good programs. That's kind of what happens. You bring Utah in, who was winning the Pac-12 pretty regularly. BYU's a brand. I mean, the Arizona schools, that's a destination school, party school.
ASU's got it going on. Arizona could do something.
They could if they wanted to.
But
who else? Colorado.
Yeah. Kansas is a good question. It's like they've had potential. They've done last year they beat the top 3 teams in successive weeks. Just they dropped so many early before that, but
but when Daniels was out,
but he's got to come back. But college football 50 days away from a kickoff, and I am ready. And it's going to be an interesting season. We'll do more. SEC media days are next week, so we'll kind of monitor that and have something on that for you next week's show.
I wish we could monitor it from a white sandy beach and
be
Panhandle, Florida.
I don't even know where media days is this year. Is it going to be?
Nah, I think it's in Dallas. I think it's at Jerry's World.
Oh yeah. No.
So whatever. I'm not
all right. Well, Big 12 is going to be interesting, and we will. I'll look forward to see, and we'll probably do an OSU preview here before too long. But I'm going to be interested to see what OSU, since OSU and Tech are kind of the programs within our realm. TCU is another one, but I hate purple. But anyways, but it will be interesting to see our, former fanboys with our program in Seymour of Baron Morton back in the day. But we'll also check in with Corey Hogue. He's probably keeping an eye on the AAC and the Conference USA with UTSA, and
to see how he feels about that Texas State move to the Pac-12 Junior.
Yeah, and I think aren't they wanting like the automatic bid as a Power 5 too?
Yeah, they can keep wanting. I think my dad said you can want in one hand.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so college football is upon us before too long, but right now summer league basketball going on for the NBA. The Thunder are looking pretty solid in their summer league. AJ Mitchell looking like he could make that next step to be a contributor next year. Topic.
I think I want to have a quick throwback to Patrick Mahomes. Do you have a moment to speak about Nikola Topic?
let's let you have at it, bud.
Super excited about the Topic kid. First game, watched him, looked a little nervous, turned the ball over a few times, but the jumper, the moving with the basketball, the off-ball movement, the repeatable jump shot form, opportunistic defense, gets his hands in passing lanes. He's long. He's got some athleticism, little wiggle, passes the ball well. I don't know how Presti keeps doing this, but I ain't mad about it.
What was his injury last season?
He had an ACL.
ACL, yeah.
Yep.
Man, I tell you, he's one of those European kids that's probably played professionally since 14.
Yes.
So a lot of games under his belt. I'm excited for you. I think that what you're seeing with the draft picks, and the big kid from Georgetown, he'll,
Thomas Sorber.
He hasn't played yet, has he?
No, he's not playing summer league. He's got, because Hartenstein becomes too expensive after next season.
Yeah,
because that's when the second apron reaper comes. So either Hart restructures and takes a massive pay cut, or just takes his championship ring on down the road.
Yeah,
Sorber steps in on that rookie deal, and then they're well below the second apron again. Same thing with Lou Dort. If he wants to.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but that is the talk of the week. And don't forget, on college football, let's not forget to talk about Joe Castiglione.
Sure.
But as far as your Thunder, J-Dub, $287 million over 5 years. Chet Holmgren, $250 million over 5 years. And then SGA, I think, signs the highest contract of any.
$287 for 4.
280. Okay, I've got 285. I wrote down 285, but
I think I saw 280. When it's that much money, what's 1 or 2 million?
But that doesn't kick in till 27, 28. So the second apron reaper that we hear about, that's basically what we used to call the luxury tax.
Sure.
where every dollar you
the
spend,
second apron, you lose picks.
Okay.
If you have a first round pick and you're in the second apron, your pick is automatically the last pick of the round.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. None of it's good for the organization. So Presti's going to keep him below that second apron, and he will.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to have contracts come off the books. You know, his core bench guys are all on descending contracts, so that's going to work out. Still have a ton of draft assets, so he can replace guys that leave with younger, cheaper players and develop them.
Well, all of the
while keeping that core intact.
Yeah, all the social media hate, and even some who claim to be media, analysts, really coming at the Thunder for tying up $822 million over three players.
This is the way the NBA is going to be now, and I'm proud to say that the franchise that I follow is the pioneer. You know, you had the Big Three super team era that fizzled out.
Yeah.
You had the positionless basketball era that has now given way to this, which is.
Well, let's hear from Bobby Marks of ESPN as he talks about what this implication means for Thunder fans.
If you're a Thunder fan and you saw what happened in Boston, you're like, oh my God, is this going to happen to our group if we lose in the second round next year? Your core players, your main top three players, and we can also add in, whether it be Alex Caruso or Casey Wallace or Lou Dort, but your core three that just got extensions, man, for the better part, you are stuck with them through 2030, 31, which is certainly a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have too, especially when you have three players under 26.
Young players, big money, bright future. We talk all the time, Jeremy, about windows, and teams have windows. This window, that Sam Presti has built has already brought one championship. Over under on what's a disappointment in titles. Three. I'll set the over under at 3.
Yeah.
Is under 3 a disappointment?
Yes. And here's why. And not because, recent being so still on a high from the, Thunder NBA championship 2.5 weeks ago, but all these teams that made moves, that's big money, and that pushes you towards that second apron.
Oh yeah.
It's not a sustainable model.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
The mothership, their morning program.
I see the graphic.
How much patience will Mavericks fans have if Cooper Flagg struggles? He played one summer league game against a highly motivated LeBron James Jr. I refuse to call him Bronny. I mean, I understand fodder, but man, just talk about and analyze the game.
Hyperbole, fodder. God, he didn't have a bad game. They both were. He's 19, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You know what? Give him a little leash. And did you hear me talking about Nikola Topic and his 7 turnovers in that first game?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was concerned about it. No, because of summer league, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This guy hasn't even had a training camp. Just
Flagg,
stop.
10, 6, and 4. 5 of 21 from the field. That's pretty bad. 0 for 5 from 3, 0 for 1. But I mean, it's summer league, and you're out there getting a feel for what's supposed to be an escalation.
It's all brand new, and I know he felt pressure.
So, one summer league game and the windows are falling in. But at the beginning of the week, the whole game was overhyped. Cooper Flagg versus Bronny. Well, one played in a national semifinal. The other one couldn't get on the floor for what? But
he's had a year of being in an NFL locker room, or an NBA locker room. Sorry, I looked up and saw some NFL stuff going on.
Back on the Thunder, talk about AJ Mitchell's role going forward, and then also this Chris Youngblood.
Well, Youngblood, I'm going to have to do some research on because I wasn't home to watch any of the summer league except for the very first game because it was last Saturday.
Sorry.
AJ Mitchell was a guy that was hurt most of last year, but hey, what's up, Cam? Anthony Randolph had 40 in summer league. Summer league doesn't mean much. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, take the good, take the bad. You're getting out there.
Deontay Burton was a summer league all-star. Where's he now?
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, we're talking about AJ Mitchell. He was a guy, and Cameron can attest to this. We didn't get to see him much during the regular season because he had I think it was a toe or something. He was injured. But when he finally started getting on the floor later in the year, this guy's got something. You know, he's quick with the basketball, makes good decisions, decent shooter. And you're seeing that this summer league, just the way he flies around the floor. He's kind of playing that SGA role with the summer league roster where he's the primary ball handler. He's getting in, they're calling him paint touches. He's getting in the paint, dishing out, making plays around the basket. He's going to be that guy on the second unit that comes off the bench and provides that offensive spark as far as a ball handler.
Yeah.
Now, if that translates to the 10 deep when they get in the playoffs, don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, you know, it's always good to have an extra ball handler coming off the bench. You're going to have him and Wallace, Caruso. Trying to think of bench guys right now.
Well, and honestly, Jeremy, and it's cause and effect. It's become a league of penetrate and kick out.
Sure.
And that is the total. And when a defense is active enough to close down those kick out passing lanes, that's why you see somebody ranked as a top defensive team. I think both teams in the finals did a good job of that at times in each of their wins. But ball handlers and guys who can break down a defense. And for the life of me, and I said this during the finals, I don't understand why you're going to sag in off of a corner three potential, off of a guy in the corner when you're really no help to a guy penetrating down the lane.
Especially when you've got good enough bigs down low to affect shots.
And therein lies the thing about these extensions, and with Chet and J-Dub, they're rookie contract extensions, but they're major money.
Sure.
But I think, so much hinges, and this is where detractors will step in. So much hinges on Chet's health. He's got to stay healthy. $250 million over that period of time. And I guess maybe it's not. Is it a guaranteed $250 million, or is that kind of what he can make?
I think that's what I know that's the way with J-Dub's contract, just because he made an all NBA, all defensive team.
Yeah.
I want to say no, Chet's is guaranteed. It is guaranteed. But that's what's so, crazy about Chet is, if you remember early in the season, he was generating a ton of buzz with his play before he, fell and fractured that hip, which was freakish.
Sure.
So, 82 games of a healthy Chet, and, that'll change a lot of minds about him.
Thunder wouldn't have a trophy if it wasn't for a torn Achilles tendon. Just saying that.
Yeah, well, hey, the Pacers might not have been there without two torn Achilles tendons.
Wasn't it tied when Halliburton went down?
No, I think the Thunder were up. Yeah, I don't know. But it may have been like 126-16 if J-Dub hadn't taken 30 shots of cortisone in his wrist before the game.
Very true. A lot of injuries determine.
We're just going to say things now, right?
A lot of injuries determine titles in a lot of sports. So, my Spurs looked really good last night against the 76ers. Man, the Sixers, they are so inept in all things. And then it is, but I mean, you just see the body language is where I read.
So it's you're saying it's a culture thing.
Janai Broom, that guy. Wasn't he considered the top player in college basketball at one point in time last season?
Is he the kid from Bama?
Auburn.
Well, that is in Bama.
Bruce Pearl has ruined him. You want to feel old, Jeremy?
I do feel old.
Jameer Nelson 50. Jr.
Yeah.
Playing in the league.
We got Rocky Kalmus's kid on the roster at OU. Hey.
Spurs, they do win big last night, 111-70. Carter Bryant, the new the Arizona
111-70 in summer league.
That's what it said.
Good Lord.
David Jones Garcia, player from the Dominican Republic, I think played at Bama last season. 24-5-3. He was 9 of 12 and 4 of 5 from 3. Carter Bryant, 3 blocks in the game, all in the first half, and he's going to be looked at as a defensive player. All of the Spurs starters were in attendance. They're help supporting their teammates.
Who owns the Sixers pick in the next draft?
Yeah, who does?
I think it's a top 4 protected, and I think Oklahoma City owns it, but I'm
Lord.
not sure.
Oh, Lord. Jeremiah Fears for the New Orleans Pelicans, they lose 98-91. He had 14 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, but 7 turnovers. Those turnovers are something that college guards really have to become accustomed to.
Those get ironed out when
Sure.
It's the speed, man. They're so we have bitched and moaned about the lack of speed of the college game, and it's just the whole pace of it, and it's controlled by the official television timeouts. The NBA speed, even in the summer league level, is just it's different.
Yep. Let me ask you this: do you think, with regards to like Cooper Flag, do you think, and the whole buildup of the matchup was LeBron James Jr. guarding him, who's now at 6'1", LeBron James Jr. is considered a defensive stopper for the Lakers
after a summer league game.
But do you think, how would you compare what Cooper Flag faced last night to like what he faced against the Houston Cougars?
Probably about the same.
About the same.
So
your lower end summer league players for a franchise like the Lakers can bring about the same amount of heat as a Kelvin Sampson tournament team.
I would say, yeah, because I've seen Bronny play defense in the regular season where he's not a terrible defender. He's not great by any means.
Yeah.
Couple that with pressure, shots not falling.
Did you see the prime lineup for NBA announcing?
No.
Ian Eagle and Kevin Harlan on with prime.
I hope the Thunder play on prime every single game. I will be in heaven.
They might.
Ian Eagle's really good. Harlan, oh my God.
Oh yeah, we went and also Stan Van Gundy. I saw his name on the list. So Kevin Durant was on the Steve Nash podcast last week, kind of doing an excuse tour as to why they didn't win a title. Here was a quote from him.
In Phoenix?
With the Thunder.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
With the net.
I think we exceeded expectations with that team. And when you reach the finals and you go through a run like that so quick, I don't think a GM or owner was ready for that. So you expecting the team that's 22, 23 to,
So you sped up the timeline too fast.
Sped up the timeline, all of us,
Enough of that. Excuse. You didn't prep yourself. You got too cocky in the finals. You know, after that, some bad luck. But in 2012, it was there for the taking.
He is such. Oh my God. Oh my God. So the youngest team to win an NBA title this year ever
came too soon.
Yeah, they weren't ready for. Oh well, okay. Maybe it's a maturity issue with you, bro.
Yeah,
and your buddies.
And I truly believe Harden's a cancer wherever he goes.
Yeah.
I think.
The only one that I think besides Nick Collison and Kendrick Perkins on that 2012 team that was mature enough to handle winning a title was probably Westbrook.
I didn't play the whole clip because I was about to throw up in my mouth, but he kind of threw Serge under the bus.
Why?
And he wasn't ready.
He was 36 years old on that team.
6'10" from the Congo.
You grew up in the Congo. Telling the guy he grew up there, but he wasn't ready for NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's KD. That's the new Houston Rocket.
Guy's such an idiot.
Did you? Yeah, it is bad.
Every day passes from this NBA championship, and I'm more and more thankful that he just bailed in 2016.
Yeah. Let's do some rapid fire. Dari Noka on KREF in Norman on the daily. That's a good thing, I think, for
it's fantastic. I get to listen to the end of it on my way to work. He's had some really good guests. It's Dari Noka. He's really good. He's the lead voice of the SEC network, so you get just major insight. And he's really, really good. And I feel blessed that he's on the radio station.
And he's had to do those weekends with Mel Kiper for decades. Good God.
Those weren't terrible. That wasn't terrible radio, though.
It's actually where Mel Kiper kind of shined.
Yeah. It was good.
OU fans can now tailgate on the North Oval. Does this affect Jeremy Schroeder and your brother-in-law?
It doesn't affect me in the least. We're still going to tailgate where there's a free restroom, and there isn't one on the. Oh, I guess there are probably some Johnny on the spots over there on the Oval again. But it's hot in there. I don't need to be breaking a sweat.
Yesterday was Andre Dawson's 71st birthday.
Happy birthday, Hawk. I'll never forget 87. I had a dream about Andre Dawson the other night. I ran into him at the airport, recited the back of his baseball card to him.
Nice.
It was weird.
Did you catch the Bill Ward performance at the Black Sabbath concert?
Man, I tried to catch as much of that as I could. I know that Tony Iommi told him he looked like Gollum.
Gollum. Very white and very pale.
I did catch the Pantera performance.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which God dang, Dime was amazing. But
Zach Wilde is a great guitarist.
So good.
It's not I appreciate it.
I do too.
For it, that
was Dime's thing.
I assume Anselmo's clean. Rex has been near death, but he's out there banging away. And then the Anthrax drummer. So
Anselmo has the voice of an angel.
Yeah. And then Alice in Chains did a set too. That was pretty cool.
Very cool.
So I watched a documentary this week. I recommend it. It's the Titan Ocean Gate documentary about the submersible that imploded near the Titanic. Man, you talk about some nutty ass people with a lot of money and a lot of influence in the world.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Speaking of, Jeff Bezos loses a $100 million satellite. They've lost contact with it and don't believe that it can be brought back.
Is that going to affect my 2-day shipping?
If it's Prime Days, what the hell, man?
We just had a delivery.
Anthony Davis, surgery for a detached retina that they say he received back in the season. Jeremy,
was it a non-contact injury?
Dude, I said he took blows to the face. So
I bet he did. Anyways, that dude has had more Final Destination injuries than I watched a slow-mo replay of him turning his ankle in midair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I saw one where somebody grazed his beard and
inexplicable
with a facial injury. Let's see. Speaking of eyes, and my thing on Anthony Davis was I've always thought a detached retina had to be jumped on quick.
I thought so. Maybe with technology and they can put new lenses in there and pretty much do whatever you need.
Speaking of eyes, Chargers running back Najee Harris, an Alabama alum, is recovering from an eye injury over a fireworks mishap. Is he the new Jason Pierre-Paul?
No, he didn't lose the eye.
And then also in Alabama intelligence content.
No, those two don't go together.
Dallas Turner, the former Bama linebacker and now Viking, he was scammed for $240,000, $120,000 on two different occasions by somebody pretending to be Chase Bank. And I say lack of intelligence. This can happen to people, but you got to remember your bank will never call you and need your personal info.
Usually, there's a little more blue in your hair if that happens.
Yeah, exactly. Usually, you're wondering why I have to go to Target and buy all these iTunes.
I was going to send that money to Jimmy Swaggart. Rest in peace.
Oh, so I think that's all I've got on the random, and we're at a minute. We're in an hour 20. So what a show we've done.
Oh man, just keep going forever. Except and forced hydration's about to get me.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and start working our way out of here. But it has been a lot of fun, and we are the Weekend Big Show. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves, no longer smeller of stinky feet. And then I am Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. We want to thank John Moore from the DLLS Rangers Weekly Podcast for joining us and talking some Rangers baseball. The All-Star break's coming up, as well as the Major League Baseball draft. We'll also try to reach out to Newt Huntley of the Sooner State Baseball Report. We had intended on talking about some Oklahoma prospects, obviously Kyson Witherspoon, OU pitcher, Eli Willits, a high school shortstop from Fort Cobb Rocks, and Ethan Holiday?
Ethan Holiday.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk about
three big names. In the draft being looked at. But Max Patton checking in from out in Sayre, America. Good show, fellas. Thank you, Max. And Max may be I may try to entice Max to join me on some Western Oklahoma sports content here before too long. But it was a lot of fun. And once again, thanks to John Moore, and also thanks to Dan Narva, Cam Hall, and Michael Busso, Max Patton. And one last comment, Dan Narva, a lot of ground covered today. Suppose it'll be a while before we see who replaces Joe C. We didn't talk about Joe C.
Joe C. Yeah, man, one of the giants in the industry.
Yeah, maybe the industry had passed him, but he will function well in his emeritus position.
The athletic department was operating on a deficit when he took over, and now they are so far in the black.
Never got men's basketball quite right.
Coach Kruger had some good teams.
Yeah, they made a Final Four. So after Kelvin left, Jeff Capel, that was a confusing one.
That could have been really good, and it was for a minute, but him paying players kind of soured that.
Kind of rough. And the thing is that we lost Kelvin Sampson for stuff that goes on just incessantly now. So
texting recruits. Stupid.
Yeah. Anyways, he's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Follow us on social media at Law Dog Sports on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter X. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports and also Spotify. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive. And we'll talk to you next Friday for the Weekend Big Show.